Then we move into Thursday. And Thursday is a Jupiter day. And so it's a day where we activate our blessings. And so we're taking a look at our relationships where we're receiving resources in our life. So that can be people, that can be money, that can be clients, that can be information that helps us to move forward as a blessing. Now, sometimes these blessings can allow for us to see where we're tied to choosing someone's value more than ours so that we can see the blessing in it and we can decide to pivot with that. We can make a change. And so life is corresponding with you today. And so it's important to notice if you are willing to receive that information, receive that blessing from life, or if you're actually running away from it. And so you want to notice in this energy, especially with love and with value, is it too much? Is it too much? Is it too much goodness? Is it too much love? I can't take this love. It's too much. You feel too much. I got to walk away. Or are you willing to stay in it and actually receive? I was working with this gentleman yesterday and he was just telling me, he's like, my deepest fear, Arlene, my deepest fear is that I'm going to be too much, that I'm going to be too much for people, that I'm going to be too much light, that I'm going to be too much love. And people aren't going to be able to handle it. But really and truly on the other side of it, he was playing in the polarity with this fear. And the polarity was that he was having a hard time actually receiving the love that was around him, receiving the support that was around him, because he was trying to see it in a certain way. And so it caused him pain. It caused him suffering. And this suffering and how he thought he was supposed to receive it was the illusion, was the distortion, because there was so much more that was available for him. And so we invited him to activate his receiving muscles, to receive too much, to receive too much money, to bust through your glass ceiling. And so we've got the 2 and we've got the 5 of diamonds. It's coming into play today. And 2 is about being aligned, right? Usually it's about connection. And of course, it is about being with others. It's about connecting with others. But I'm asking you to be aligned as you connect with others, to notice when you are in your head or if you're in your heart, and to actually be coherent with your mind and your heart so that you can go and you can have deep connections, deep collaborations, deep conversations, deep partnerships, deep experiences with your resources. Which sounds kind of funny, right? Deep experiences with my money as I receive it. Like, what does that even look like? But a deep acceptance or receiving of your resources is to notice that to receive $1 million doesn't necessarily feel much better than it does in this moment, because you're in resonance with it, right? You might be surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised that I'm receiving $1 million, and yet I still feel the same that I did yesterday or this morning when I woke up, because it simply is a match. And so are you aligned with how it would feel to receive $1 million with those resources, with your clients? And today, if you're inspired, get out of the house and meet people. If you're inspired, go out to lunch. If you're inspired to make a phone call, make the phone call. Do the things so that you can be in the places where your blessings are waiting for you. And I'm not saying to chase them, but to hear that inner call within you. Now we've got the 5 of diamonds. It's playing with the 2. And the 5 of diamonds is, what's my choice of physical value? Do I value the money that's in my bank more than my personal well-being? And so it's the same as today's energy, just a little bit nuanced. Do I value that more than I value myself? Where am I going? What am I valuing? Am I willing to nurture my body? Many of you already know this, but I worked for a corporation for quite some time. I worked for a corporation for 10 years. And in that corporation, I experienced a trauma. And it was trauma that I had experienced as a child, but I experienced this trauma of sexual abuse and being, sexually harassed by a manager. And in that sexually harassed by a manager, I got really sick because I continued to go to work because I needed to make the money. And I needed to make the money because at that time I was a single mom. I was going through a divorce. I had 2 kids. I wasn't receiving any support. They were 1.5 and 3. And so I had to work midnights. I had to do the job. I had to keep on going. And I had to work overtime. I had to do all of these things. I saw them for an hour a day because I needed that, not me. And not realizing that, not realizing any of these other things because I was so focused on the money. I got sick and I couldn't get out of bed. I was anxious. I was crying. I was depressed. I wasn't seeing right. I couldn't even take care of my kids. And that was the whole point for making the money, to take care of my kids, but I couldn't. And so that's what this energy is asking you. What do you value more? Do you value the money that's outside of you, or do you value you, your physical body, your well-being, your wholeness? And are you willing to choose, well, I chose my wholeness. I chose my well-being, and I let that go. As scary as it was, I let it go and I let it fall away. And in letting it fall away, I received all of these opportunities. I received 2 book deals. I received people giving me computers and iPads and a car. I received people giving me money and gift cards, and all of these things came because I let go of that. But if I didn't let go of that, I wouldn't have been able to receive the blessings. I wouldn't have been able to actually see that that was possible, that that was available. And so you want to ask yourself, what is my relationship today? What is my relationship with my body, with my well-being? Where am I focused in my value? And how am I in receiving my money and my resources, the people, my clients? Because the truth is always going to bring you in the direction of what you want. While I was working there, what was true was I hated my job. I hated it so much. I couldn't stand it. My job was to manage people and to treat them like cattle, to make them work hard, to make them do things. My job was to fire people, which was not aligned with who I am. It just wasn't. And so my body showed me. My feedback showed me being sexually harassed. All of those things showed me. But I used all of the reasons. I used reasons to stop me from seeing what was really true. What was really true was I hated my job. What was also true was I needed resources, I needed money. But that wasn't the place where I was going to get it. And so I used the reason of, oh, well, this is the place where you get hired to retire because you get an amazing 401k, you have amazing, benefits, you have amazing, all of these things, dot, 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 yada, yada, yada. Oh, I can't because I've been working there for 8 years. I got to stay there. I can't leave there. I've got tenure. Oh, well, I am that place. That place cannot succeed without me. It's a nationwide corporation. In my mind, that place can't survive without me. So I got to be there. They're relying on me because that was my value. My value was the place. My value was the title. And so look at the reasons that you might be using that are stopping you from what is true. What is true is always going to be simple. It's always going to be a short sentence. It's always going to be something like, I am love. I am okay. I want more. And the same thing with your intuition. Your intuition is not going to give you some crazy ass story. If your intuition is giving you some crazy ass story, you might be in your imagination, which means that you're probably in your ego. And if I'm looking at this group here, you're probably in your spiritual ego. Because your intuition is always going to inspire you. Hey, make that call. Hey, it's time to nourish your body. Go get some food. Hey, sleep. You're integrating. Intuition. Break up with the guy. Right? And then the moment we get the truth, we get the intuition, our reasons pile on top like a football team, just jumping onto the quarterback that has the ball. Give me all the reasons why you can't get there. And we listen to the reasons, not to the truth. So notice how you are today or Thursday. Notice where you are receiving these blessings, receiving a deeper truth, and seeing whether or not you're willing to move into higher value with that. Or if you're continuing to play in patterns that cause you pain. Because again, come back to the themes. The theme is that you can have everything that you desire. You just got to keep on staying focused. You got to stay aligned. You got to move in that direction. Focus forward. Focus to be on purpose, on path.